Hello friends, let us come with our next class in the COA. In the previous class we have seen that micro instruction formats. In today's class we will be going to see the micro programmed control unit designing. How we are going to design this particular control unit and the decoding of ALU control information, how we are going to do it. We are going to see it in this control unit block. Now if you are going to see this particular control design of this control unit block, we are going to have total 3 decoder circuits. We are going to use total 3 decoder circuits, and these 3 decoders are of 3 by 8 decoders. That is, it will take 3 inputs and it will generate total 8 outputs. Based upon this 3 input condition, any one of the output will be selected. Okay, so how this will be done? That is nothing but, as if you have been remembered that one, a micro instruction format is available. In this micro instruction format, you are going to have total 3 fields. You are going to have field 1, field 2, field 3, and each field is of 3 bits, which used to generate total 8 micro operations. Okay, you see here, this, if you have remembered this particular table, in this total 3 bits 8 micro operations we have generating. For this one also, F2 3 bits 8 operations, F3 3 bits 8 operations. So totally 3 bits 8 operations we have been generating by this particular one. So for that one we will be using a decoder over here. Okay, now this based upon these 3 bits, it generates any one of the micro operation field. These micro operation fields will be given to the ALU unit, arithmetic logic and shift unit. Based upon that particular micro operation, it performs that micro operations and it will be generating it to, and it will be storing the result in the accumulator. Okay, now we will be having a multiplexer over here. This one is nothing but from program counter or from data register 0 to 10 bits. Okay, and the selection bits you are going to get it from your decoder. Okay, if you have remember that there are the micro operations like data register value will be moved to the address register, program counter value will be moved to the address register. This will be done by using this multiplexer block, which will be transfer the data from the address register to the program counter or data register. Okay, so what happens here, when this particular selection values is 0 or 1, if you have seen this particular multiplexer, I am having one selection one, it is nothing but a 2 by 1 multiplexer. So what happens here, based upon my selection value, if it is selection value is 0, then program counter value will be moved to the address register. If my selection value is 1, then what happened, data register value will move to the address register. So this will be, address register value will be stored based upon that one. Now this address register will be under active condition when this both, that is nothing but we will be doing the OR operation, that is nothing but your PCTR and DRTAR. If any of these 2 bits is 1, then automatically your address register value will be loaded with your program counter value or data register value. Okay, is it clear? Next, you if you are going to see all the remaining all value, all the decoder outputs, we are giving it to the ALU unit to perform the arithmetic and logical operations. This is nothing but a simple block diagram of your control unit. Now micro program sequencer, our next micro instruction address logic, how we are going to generate it. Okay, now if you are going to see here, I am having a multiplexer MUX1. In this we are going to have 2 status pins, S0 and S1, which is used for the selection of your sequencer. Okay, whether if it is 0 0 means, if your S1 and S0 is 0 0 means it is an inline sequencing. Inline sequencing means your control address register value should be incremented by 1. Okay, next one is what, if it is 0 1 means it is SBR return, that is nothing but a subroutine program return. Next, if it is 1 0 means what happens, it is a branch, that is conditional or unconditional branching. You are going to call the you're going to call the some program, or you're going to branch jump to that particular program. If it is 1 1 means you are going to perform the mapping. Okay, now if it is those are selection bits. So in the first selection bit set as status bit, if it is 0 0 means I need to increment my CAR value plus 1. So what happens here, your zero multiplexer 0 line will be initiated, that is nothing but your incremented CAR incremental value will be given to the 0, that will be stored in the CAR register. Okay, if suppose if it is 0 1 status means what happens, return address, that is nothing but your SBR value will be given as an SBR value will be given as an output to the multiplexer, and this value will be stored in the CAR register. Okay, if it is 1 0 means I'm going to have the branch or call address. Based upon this branch or call address, that branch and call address will be moved as an output of a mux, and it will be stored in the CAR register. Next is nothing but your external mapping. If I want to go with the mapping, then I will be using my selection bits as 1 1. So this external mapping address will be moved to the CAR register. Based upon the CAR register value, the control storage, it goes to that particular control storage memory address, and it will execute its particular micro operations. Now, this based upon this 4 status, what are the different sequencing we are going to do? If it is 0 0 means inline sequencing. If it is 0 1 means branch or subroutine call. If it is 1 0 means return from the subroutine program. And if it is 1 1 means new micro machine instruction to be executed. So these are the 4 sources which we will be giving different addresses to my CAR. Now, if you are going to see this, how this condition and branch control will be done. Okay, for this condition field, if I am going to see in this condition field, we do have 2 bits. These 2 bits will be given to the mux. Okay, now based upon these 2 bits, your mux will be generating total 4 inputs you are going to have. Out of those 4 inputs, 1 will be your output. Okay, if my CD value is 0 0, what happens when CD value is 0 0 means it is an unconditional branch, that is nothing but your first one will be given as our output. If it is 0 1, then I in that is something about your indirect addressing. If it is 1 0 means it is a signed one. If it is 1 1 means it is a 0 flag. Any of this input will be selected and it will be given as a test output from the mux. This test output is given to the input logic. For this input logic, we are going to give again 2 inputs which are nothing but your branch field. Okay, branch field of your micro instruction format, those 2 inputs we will be going to give to the input logic. And it this based upon this input logic and based upon that test particular output of your mux, based upon these three things, your input logic will generate the outputs as a load SBR with program counter for subroutine program, or it is going to generate the next address selections. Okay, so in this input logic, if you see, we are going to have 3 inputs. What are those 3 inputs? I0, I1 and T. I0 and I1 is nothing but your branch field 2 bits, whereas T is nothing but your output of your mux, which is nothing but your condition field. From the condition field, what is the condition, based upon that one, that test value will be generated. So with these 3 bits, how many combinations we are going to have? Total 8 combinations. Based upon these 8 combinations, what are the 8 different types of operations it is going to perform? If it is 0 0 0 means it is an inline sequencing. If it is 0 0 1 means it is a jump. If it is again 0 1 0 is something but again it is an inline sequencing. If it is 0 1 1, then it is a call instruction. Okay, if it is 1 0, it can be a 1 or 0, it is a return instruction. Okay, if it is 1 1 and it is again 0 or 1 1 1 0 or 1 1 1, then it is a mapping one. Okay, so you are going to have this status as S0 as equation as I0, S1 equation as I0 into I1 plus I0 bar into T. And what is my L? L is nothing but your load value, which is nothing but your IO bar by IO bar dot I1 dot T. This is your microprogram sequencer, the same thing which has been implemented over here. First, you are going to have mux2 will be giving you given mux2 will be getting the input from the CD, which is nothing but your condition field. Okay, and based upon this condition field, it will generate the test signal. This test signal is given to the input logic, and this input logic will be getting one input from the mux2 and the other two inputs, that is nothing but your I0 and I1, from the branch field of my micro instruction. So this one is given. Based upon this one, it generates the output, load output, and it is going to generate the two status pins S1 and S0. This S1 and S0 has been given to the mux1. This mux1 is nothing but it is used to generate the sequencer. What type of sequencing program we are doing? Okay, so if it is 00 means it is an inline sequencer. If it is 01 means it is nothing but your branch or call sequencer. Okay, if it is 10 means what happens, it is a return from the subroutine program. If it is 11 means it is nothing but your external mapping. So if you have remember this one, this is nothing but your, where it is, this one. Okay, these four operations which will be generated over here. Okay, now if you see here, what is mux1? It's nothing but your inline sequencer, return from subroutine, branch and call address, and external map. The same thing has been implemented, same thing has been drawn over here. Here. Okay, next, address field will be giving you the address of the call branch 1 jump call instruction. Okay, then the output of ESC based upon CAR, it is given, go to the address of this particular control storage memory or control memory, and it executes the next micro instruction. This is nothing but your micro program sequencer. Okay, once again we will have a description about this micro instruction format. Information in the micro instructions are nothing but your control information, sequencing information, and a constant, that is nothing but information which is useful when feeding into the system. Okay, this information needs to be organized in some way for efficient use of micro instruction bits or fast decoding. Okay, and fields encoding is nothing but your encoding of your micro instruction bits. Encoding slows down the execution speed due to the decoding delay. Encoding also reduces the flexibility due to decoding hardware. Okay, so these are nothing but your few basic things of advantages and disadvantages of your micro instruction format. Okay, now when you go with a micro instruction format, you are going to have two types of micro instruction format. One is nothing but your horizontal micro instruction format, and the second one is nothing but your vertical micro instruction format. In horizontal micro instruction format, each bit directly controls each micro operations of or each control points. Okay, and the horizontal implies a long micro instruction word. What is the advantage? Can control a variety of components operating in parallelly. Efficient advantage is nothing but advantage of efficient hardware utilization. What is disadvantage? Control word bits are not fully utilized. Okay, your control storage becomes larger and costly. Okay, so let us come with your vertical micro instruction format. In a vertical micro instruction format is not a horizontal. Vertical implies a short micro instruction word. Encoded micro instruction fields needs to decoding circuits, one or two levels of decoding. So here what happens is nothing but your horizontal micro instruction format. Just now we have discussed, that is nothing but your horizontal micro instruction format. Whereas coming to your advantage of this horizontal micro instruction format is nothing but parallelly it is executing the branch, it is going to execute the condition, and it is going to generate the address. Everything is done in the parallelly. So the advantage of efficient hardware utilization, I can utilize my hardware efficiently. What is the disadvantage is nothing but of my horizontal micro instruction is nothing but your control word bits are not fully utilized. All the control word bits we are not using fully. So due to that one, what happens, my control storage becomes larger. So that gives rise to my costlier. So your horizontal micro instructions are costlier. When it comes to the vertical micro instruction doesn't mean that you are going to have a vertical format. It simply implies that we are going to reduce this particular micro instruction format. Okay, we are going to have a short micro instruction format, and this short one micro instruction format, we are going to have two types of micro instruction fields. One is nothing but your one level of decoding, and the second is nothing but your two level of decoding. In one level of decoding, what happened, field A and field B, field A will be of 2 bits and field B will be of 3 bits. This will be given to the decoder. This decoder will be going to generate the output 4 different combinations, and whereas field B, the decoder output, you are going to have total 8 combinations. If I am going with a 2 level of decoding, field A will be of 2 bits, field B will be of 6 bits. So what happens, field A you are going to have the total 4 outputs, whereas field B decoder you are going to have totally 64 outputs. Both this will be given to the decoder and selection logic. So this decoder and selection logic will select this particular any one of the instruction format. So whenever if I am going to have many instructions to be executed, many different micro instructions to be implemented, then we will be going with a 2 level of decoding. Otherwise we will always go with a 1 level of decoding. So nano storage and nano instructions, we don't require it. So if you see here, these are nothing but a micro instruction format. Advantages and disadvantages, control information. Whenever we go with a micro instruction, always remember we do have control information, sequencing information, and some constant value. Okay, this information to be organized in some way, we need to organize in particular way. So efficient use of micro instruction bits we need to do, and the main disadvantage is nothing but a fast decoding we need to do. Fast decoding we have to do. So the field encoding of micro instruction bits, encoding slows down the execution speed due to decoding delay. So what happened, whenever we go with an encoding, automatically you are going to reduce the speed of operation. Whenever you are going to reduce the speed of operation, decoding you are going, there will be a delay will be there in the execution. So encoding also reduces the flexibility due to decoding hardware. So whenever we go with an encoding, it always reduces the flexibility. We are going to have the reduces flexibility. Why? Because the decoding hardware, use of the decoding hardware. So this is nothing but the advantages and disadvantages of micro instruction format. So by this we are done with our second unit. Okay, in the next class we will be going to start with our third unit. If you are going to see that this particular second unit, part B, is very important. That is nothing but your micro program control unit. In this micro program control unit, directly he will be asking you 4 different types of questions. One is nothing, most important is nothing but your micro instruction format. Second is nothing but your what are the different sequencing techniques. Third is nothing but how we are going to design the control unit block diagram. And the fifth one is nothing but your sequencing control. See how you are going to implement the sequencing. Okay, that particular block diagram you need to explain. So these are the 4 questions from this particular micro programmed control unit. Okay, thank you students. In the next class we will be going to stay with our third unit.